Yes. Very good evening to all the respected members of the faculty present here. Dr. Julie ma'am, Warden Fitch Hostel, Vice Principal sir, good evening. And a very big thank you to Ritika, to the governing body, and to Sarah. And a bigger thank you to all the Fitch Hostelites who've honored me today by inviting me here. I thank all of you that you selected me and chose me to come here this evening. I must admit that I've been quite anxious for the past few months to say when I got to know that I would be coming and speaking to all of you all. In fact, I must also admit that the last few days I've actually had a loss of appetite. But unfortunately, I still weigh the same. So, anyways, it's a great pleasure to be here. I've been part of many a hostel days, and 5 to be precise. I remember a lot of things from those days. I remember having worked all night. I remember some of the tragic projects that we made. I remember the last minute disasters, the last minute wardrobe malfunction, the mascara going off, and things like that. I remember having someone special down the road who later became my husband, Dr. Dennis. But I do not remember any of the chief guests who came. I do not remember what they spoke. So, keeping that in mind, I must say I'm going to make this as short as possible. And even if there's one thing that you take back with you from what all I said, my loss of appetite would be worth it. So, while I was preparing for my speech, I was wondering what should I talk to you all about. I thought to myself, maybe I should talk about something that I did not know when I was like you all sitting down there. So there are 3 things that I would want to tell you all today. A few things about failures, something about friendship, and something about discipline. All these things might sound a little paradoxical, but I request you to hear me out. We have all failed at times, maybe as individuals, or maybe as a group, maybe as a team. But I'm sure we all have failed. Maybe not catastrophically, maybe not like that. But we have experienced failures. I have experienced failures as a physical therapist, as a wife, as a mother, as a friend. I have failed exams, yeah. And believe me when I say that it is okay to fail. It is okay to cry, and it is okay to be vulnerable. It was only when I failed I could face my demons. Now, when I say it is okay to fail, I by no means say it's okay to be lazy. I by no means say it's okay to be careless. That's not okay. But what I'm trying to say here is that it's okay to fail. There is no room for carelessness in life. Ultimately, it is for us to decide what our failures are. Because if we allow others to decide, they will be the ones to point out and tell what our failures are. Failures have given me the best of friends. They have given me more than that I could ever imagine for. So when I say it's okay to fail, definitely it is okay to cry, and it is okay if you've failed an exam. It doesn't matter, believe me. J.K. Rowling puts life and failures beautifully. She describes and says, "It is impossible to live without failing at something. unless you lived so cautiously that you might have as well not lived at all. And that is failure by default. Second thing that, as I mentioned earlier, that I would want to talk to you about is friendships. I consider myself privileged to have made great friends in hostel. Friends who supported me, encouraged me, but also made sure to trash me, completely rip me apart during GBs. But those were the friends that I will always remember. But I really wish that I was more receptive to criticism. As a young girl, that was something that I lacked. And that is something I want to leave to you all. I have now realized that the best way to improve yourself is to listen to all the nigglings that your friends are telling you. I am now learning this, but I wish I had started earlier. You do not only take criticism, but are also critical of the wrong things your friends do. And be honest. Honest in your work, in your friendships, and in your commitments. Honesty is probably the only thing that will set you apart when you go out into the world. And this is also true as a team. As a hostel, you have to be honest, and you have to humbly accept criticism. Finally, like I mentioned, the last thing I would like to leave with you is discipline. Discipline for me is in the form of planning and sticking to your plans. Scientifically speaking, since I'm into public health, there's something called follow the protocol. Actually, doing things when they are supposed to be done is the best way you could actually have discipline into your life. Of course, my plans have failed, and they have failed big time, but it definitely helps to plan. Plan your day, plan your month, plan your budget your money. Things like those really help, and they are helping me now. I learned this from my hostel days, just by doing simple of things. Things like waking up in the morning and making your bed. I know it's difficult, but that's the simplest thing that you can try teaching yourself to do. So that even if you had a really rough day, a real bad day, when you come back to hostel, you have a neat and tidy bed waiting for you to sleep on and to forget all what the day was like. I joined Fitch Hostel in 2003. Things were very different then. It has been a long 12-year road for me, a journey filled with bumps and blisters, love and laughter, from the loss of a dear friend to the birth of a child. I have learned so much, and I am still learning, struggling to learn and learning to learn. There have been lots of lessons that I have learned, from the simplest to the most complex. Simple things have shaped me as a person. I have learned not only to ask questions, but also to seek answers responsibly. I have learned to keep not only promises, but also memories. Keep friends and treasure friendships. I have learned to follow orders and to respect my seniors. And I have learned to express myself. At the same time, I have also learned to accept others expressing themselves. So, why do I stand here? Have I accomplished anything? No, I have not. Do I have years of experience? Of course not. I don't. Have my prayers been answered? No. There are a few prayers that have not been answered. But one thing I can tell you with utmost certainty is to make your experiences in hostel richer and wealthier. Find answers to all your questions and pray. Pray without ceasing. May all you ladies have a blessed time and a lovely evening. Thank you.